Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Yes, I am in a different location. I have moved house. Because I have a new job placement. So as you guys know, I work on a rotational grad scheme. We move around every 6 months and this is where I've ended up. So my new background is a white wall. Yay. I apologise in advance if the background changes a few times as I try to work out what it is I want to do with the background. But you know, content will always be the same. Anyway, moving on to what today's topic is about. Today we're going to talk about different types of plot twists. So let's do this. So first, let's define what a plot twist actually is. A plot twist is a turn or an event that turns the plot in a new trajectory and away from its former one. And in my personal opinion, I feel like plot twists can fall into two overlapping buckets, and they do overlap quite a bit. I would say that you've got rewatch plot twists and you've got trajectory plot twists. So firstly, a rewatch twist often happens towards the end of the story, and basically what it does is it changes how a story can be viewed or interpreted by your audience up until this point. Now, the reason I call it the rewatch twist is because it adds extra value when you go back to rewatch the material. And I say rewatch because generally speaking, people tend to go back and rewatch films rather than they go back and reread a book, but the same still applies. Knowing this twist in advance gives a sense of suspense to your reader, and as such, they can view the story progression under a new light. It'll often happen towards the end of a story, and it'll often be a reveal or knowledge share that changes the whole frame of the situation. It often also has little effect on the plot of the story because you're at the end of the story. What's there to change at this point? So this can be in the form of answering questions the audience may have had, finishing off character arcs, or tying together loose strings. The trajectory twist is an event that happens at any point in your story, beginning, middle, or end, that radically changes the course of the plot moving forward. So this is mostly a forward-looking thing. Your band of misfits are travelling to the far-off magical unicorn kingdom, but they find out that it's been razed to the ground and all the unicorns are dead, and now they need to come up with a brand new plan, and that sets them on a brand new journey. That would be considered a trajectory plot twist because it's looking forwards with very little looking back. This is when the villain finds your device and he sends his pet dragon to eat it, so you have to come up with a brand new plan on the spot. It's definitely looking forward. Now, what it shouldn't do particularly is make your plot up until this point completely redundant, because this will generally kind of annoy your readers. If they put in all this effort and time into understanding the story until this point, it should have a meaning. You can't just make it all redundant. Don't turn your reader's commitment into rubbish. But still, a plot twist is definitely interesting as a way to change things up. Now, the reason that I said that these are two overlapping kinds of plot twists is that you can definitely have both. You can definitely have a plot twist that adds rewatch value as well as radically changing the forward trajectory of a novel. It depends on your novel or storyline that you're trying to write and what's appropriate for your style and your genre, but it is totally possible to do both. An example of this would be a plot twist in a crime novel. Now, think about a crime novel that you've wanted to go back and reread or rewatch. In this case, the plot twist is no longer a surprise to you. You know who's done it. Generally, crime novels are whodunits. And if you've read it before or you've watched it before, you know who's done it. However, the twist has added rewatch value, which is why you go back and you take new things out of the book or spot things that you missed before. Now that we've covered the two major kinds of plot twists, let's go over some of my personal favourite kinds of plot twists, specific kinds of plot twists in more detail. Number one, Chekhovs gun. This is where you use small details that you sort of drip feed into your story that originally your reader may brush off as being, you know, artsy-fartsy, on the side, kind of just a thing that someone's noticed. But then it turns out to be really important later down the line. And I love those stories because it rewards the readers that paid attention to detail and has some of the readers that may have been skimming a little bit to be like, wait, what? Then they have to go back and reread it. It also, in my opinion, adds reread value because you go through and you pick up the things you may have missed the first time you were reading it. The twist comes in the fact that the information that you originally presented was dismissed by your reader, but now is vitally important. Suddenly having this trivial information becoming very important can also lead to a sense of poignancy and greater attention to detail being paid to your books. Number 2, the eutastrophe. Now this was actually created by Tolkien in Lord of the Rings, and it is the opposite of a catastrophe. This is when your characters or your band of misfits, the plot is dire. We're talking mass destruction level doom. There is no way out, everyone is dead, no one is happy, this is going badly. And then suddenly, everything's going great. You do a complete U-turn on catastrophe and suddenly things are going really, really, really well. You can use this in comedies, tragedies, dramas, whatever you like. The trick to it is making sure that your audience really believes that your character's doom is nigh, that it's really going to happen. And then you flip it. Number 3, realization. Now the long word for this, arachnoresis. I'm just going to call it realization, but that is where your characters finally have a realization about something going on in the plot. Self-explanatory with my title. Now arachnoresis or realization is different from other kinds of plot twists because this is purely internal. This is purely a thought process or an understanding that comes to light. There should be no physical or external changes in that scene, in that plot twist. Now, often arachnoresis can accompany physical or external changes, but those physical or external changes in themselves are additional plot twists that you've sandwiched on top of your arachnoresis. i.e., you've worked out that you're the son of a superhero, and when you work that out, you unlocked your own superpowers, and oh my gosh, isn't that amazing? That would be arachnoresis with external changes. Number 4, poetic justice. This might not traditionally be thought of as a plot twist, but when your super dark, evil villain ends up being eaten by his own man-eating shark, you know what? That's a twist, and I'm all for it. The only problem with this kind of twist nowadays is that it's considered cliche, but we all know my opinion on cliches. 1 or 2 definitely doesn't hurt, and they're cliches for a reason, because they work. You just don't want to have too many of them in your novel, which I think can be said for anything. Number 5, the false protagonist. The chosen one isn't the chosen one anymore, and it's that scrawny, nerdy kid at the back with the glasses. This is Neville Longbottom's story opposed to Harry Potter. I'm up for this. Now, I absolutely love this kind of twist. I am totally here for it. But there is one thing that kind of niggles at me with it, and that is make sure that you choose the best point of view to tell this story, because sometimes it isn't the real protagonist. Sometimes the best way to view the story is from the perspective of the false protagonist. Forget finding out that you're suddenly the chosen one. Imagine finding out that you aren't the chosen one. Now that's a story I'd love to read. Make sure there is a point and purpose behind who is telling the story, who the main character is, and what we currently know. Your job as the writer is to make sure that you tell the story in the most engaging way possible. So make sure we have the best seat in the house to enjoy it. So those 5 are my 5 personal favourite plot twists that I will experience when reading a novel. Like I said, there are thousands more out there. If you just literally open up a Google search and type in types of plot twists, pages and pages of them will come out. Some of them have names, some of them don't. Most of them are a mixed match of a bunch of different things. Like I said, arachnoresis can stand on its own, but it's often sandwiched in with lots of other events that happen. Make sure though, when you do your plot twists, you understand what you want to add to the story, whether you want rewatch value, whether you want to change the forward trajectory, and consider some of the different types that are out there, because they can radically change up a story, particularly if you think it's starting to get a little bit slow. Anyway, that's all I've got for you this week. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Social media information will be appearing on the screen very soon. And my book is coming out on November 19th. Oh, I'm so excited. The link to buy pre-orders will be down below. Glass Slipper Publications is the website that you can buy it from. Also, it is available on NetGalley for reviewers, so if you have a NetGalley account, go ahead and review it on there. I'm so excited to share this with everybody. And this is the cover, so if you like the cover, please just go and just let me know that you like the cover. Anywho, next week I will be talking about bad plot twists, because there are definitely those out there. Other than that, I hope you guys have positive and productive weeks, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!